Come on, man. What the?
What the? What the?
Amazing!
still got to stand up strong. Think the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being with me. It is Friday, the last day of work for some people. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week, what color was Jesus? What color was Jesus? Jesus. Amazing. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show, jesseleepeterson.com/show. And don't forget to follow us on Cozy, cozy.tv/JLP. And Rumble. You got to know how to rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Hit the like button, ring the bell, subscribe, and do all those good things. And you can, if you're busy this morning, some people are not able to sit and watch the show live. They're working out. They're laying up at the beach. They're trying to cross the Rio Grande River there into the country. They are smoking fentanyl. They are committing suicide. Whatever you might be doing, you can be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad. And then you podcast later if you survive.
What the?
You can podcast later. But for now, you can, if you're busy, you can listen by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live on your iPhone or iPad, by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing.
Amazing.
So it is Friday. It's Open Line Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Friday. It is whatever is on your mind. Express yourself Friday.
You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
How many of you are afraid to talk openly about race?
What? I'll say yes, and here's why. Because I'm white, and I'm going to screw it up somehow.
It's very uncomfortable to talk about race.
I don't want to say anything that would offend anyone.
Look what I'm doing. I'm starting my house on fire.
And plus, I'm a male. It's like every group out there can be pissed off at me because I'm white and a male. It's a very touchy subject.
And people ask me, why does he have to fight so hard? Why does he have to call people names? If he would just tone it down a hair, stop a little of the name calling. Hang on. I said it's their question. Leave me alone.
March off to fight Nazis. We fought on your behalf. You're welcome,
Stop saying woke.
We never say woke! I never said woke in my life!
And if I wasn't tough, I wouldn't be here right now, I guarantee you that. If I didn't fight back, we need courage in this country or we're going to lose our country.
Amen to that. Amen. 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 And the only way you're going to become a person of courage is that you got to become an individual. You must become an individual. You must not be afraid to stand alone. Because just think about it. If you want to be a person of courage, and you're afraid to stand alone, how would you develop courage? It's like having to go to face your mother, your mama, to forgive her for what she's done, and you're afraid to do it. And so the devil tell you, oh, you might hurt her feelings, she might get angry, blah, 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 so you don't do it because you're afraid. How would you ever overcome that fear if you don't go and do it? It's like lifting weights or whatever. If you don't lift weights, you're never going to develop muscles or do something. You got to do it. You got to be willing to stand alone. And in my country today, in my America, only a handful of people, only a few, is willing to stand alone. Isn't that a sad commentary when you think about it? And this includes males and females. They're afraid to stand alone. They're afraid to overcome the fallen state. Mama will build an army against you. She'll turn all the family members against you. Not that they were with you anyway, if they could be turned against you. But she would turn them against you only because you went and forgave and now she's feeling guilty. And instead of saying, you know what, I feel guilty because I am guilty. You're right, son or daughter. She'll go, he said he hate me. He blamed me for everything. And the weak family members join forces. They take sides. You're never going to become strong until you're willing to stand alone and deal with the evil, overcome the evil within yourself and the evil within other people. Human beings are evil. Their hearts are wicked. They're prideful, they're jealous, envious, strife, revengeful. They're of the devil. They're daddy the devil. But if you overcome the evil within your own heart, you can overcome it. You can deal with the evil within others in an amazing way, too. Not your own strength, but a strength that's stronger than your fallen state weakness. What a mess! Talking about taking the joke too far. You guys heard of a guy by the name of Dennis Rodman, right? Rodman. He was a basketball player at one time. And he just screwed up his little playing ball. It was south like nothing going north. New York Post is reported, and this guy takes this thing too far, right? How old is he now? But New York Post is reporting, 62 years old. 62 years old. What the? Dennis Rodman, 62, had an NBA career that extended from 1987 through 2000. He recently got a tattoo of his girlfriend on his face. Watch this from Twitter.
Well, I'm loved. I got a slug. And I'm drinking. These kids ain't what the huh? Yeah. You know, look at this guy still doing it.
Amazing. 62 years old, and instead of overcoming the fallen state, he went deeper into it so far. See what can happen to you if you don't start working on you? You are responsible as an adult for your life. No one else is. You got to work on you, folks, and nothing physical can change your life for the good, period. It's a waste of time. You can gain the world. You can get money, fame, fake power, popularity, whatever. It ain't going to do nothing for you, the real you. It's just a way for you to provide, buy some food in this world, but it's not going to change you at all. Then that's a sign of going deep into hell. You can overcome it, but you got to work on you. He got this big tattoo at 62 of his girlfriend, according to this report, on his face. Wikipedia has reported that Dennis Rodman was attached to his mother and felt overwhelmed by the all-female household. Rodman was born in Trenton, New Jersey. His father left his family when he was young. He said, "I haven't seen my father in more than 30 years. So what's there to miss? Some man brought me into this world. That doesn't mean I have a father." See what a mother's love would do for you? It will kill you spiritually. Fathers are the light of the world and the salt of the earth. When that flavor is gone, you catch pure hell. When that light is out, nothing but darkness. Nothing but darkness. Nothing but darkness. And they're working overtime to put the light of man out. And unfortunately, the males, are allowing them to put out their light. I want to play Dennis Rodman, that Twitter thing, over again so you can see what happens when the father is not there, when he's not in the home, or even if he's in the home and he doesn't stand between the woman and the children and his children, she will destroy them. If the father's weak, afraid of the mother. I was talking to a guy yesterday where he said something like, and I don't remember every detail right, but his mother and father come visit for a couple months at a time, and the father's afraid of the mother, and he is afraid of the mother, his mama. And so they allowed this woman to destroy their family. I want you to see what happens when the father, an example, there are so many more, when the father doesn't stand between the mother and his children. Watch this from Twitter.
Well, I'm loved. I gotta smoke and have a drink. These kids ain't what the huh? Yeah. You know, look at this guy still doing it.
Amazing. That's so evil. It's so evil, it's not even funny. According to him, his father wasn't there. He was overwhelmed by females. His mother and females in the household. This is why the boys grow up weak and become weak men. Their nature don't change. They have to change nature. They must be born again of the Father. And this is what happened to the blacks. And not all, but most. The blacks have bucket loads of excuses for their weakness, but this is what happened. The father was not there, or if he was there, the mother controlled the father and the household and destroyed the children. It ain't got nothing to do with racism. It ain't got nothing to do with 1800s or 1700s or anything like that, or slavery or Jim Crow or any of those things. Economics and all that mess they make up, just a bunch of excuses to deny that it's like a father. Every man, every woman, every boy, and every girl, in order to be free and strong, and strong don't mean what you think it means. Not like your little word you've learned about strength. There's a real one, and it's not from you, and it's not fake. But every boy, every girl, every man, and every woman must return to the Father. There's no way around it. You must be born again of the Spirit of the Father. Love your earthly father, you will be born of the Spirit of God. If you don't do that, there's no way out. You're going to end up like that, or even worse, committed suicide. Committed suicide. And women need the father as much in the same way as the men need the father. The boys need the father. The girls need him. It's the same thing. And women, you're not going to overcome anything until you overcome mama. Die of the ego spirit, and you shall be free. Die of the ego spirit, and you shall be free. Women need to be strong as well, but they need men. And these women walking around look like little sluts. These little tight pants on, even the fat women wear them. They all up in their behinds, and they're just awful. But they're saying, I'm looking for a love of a father. I'm looking for my daddy. Instead, they get something else that doesn't do nothing but make them worse. Make them worse. Here's an example of a woman, or women, but she's one woman, needing a strong father. A man, a father. This is from New York Post. If ever this woman needed a father, it's now. Jeopardy host reveals she feels useless, irrelevant, and worthless. This is from Mayim Bialik. What a messed up name. What the? Okay, watch this.
Next question. Sadie asks, what do you do when you feel useless, irrelevant, and worthless, or do you not ever feel that way? Great question. I do feel that way. And, you know, it's kind of a hard question to answer because I know that from where I'm sitting, you know, obviously I have a platform and I get to talk to people. And I would say that, you know, I am grateful that I have the opportunity to be here, and I'm still a human. And I often feel like what I'm doing is not what I'm supposed to be doing, or I'm not doing it well enough, or I'm not reaching enough people, or I'm not doing it right, or I look stupid, you know, like just name the thing and I think it. Some people like to surround themselves with people who will not make them feel useless, irrelevant, and worthless. But because I'm an actor person, you know, I grew up in a world where everybody's like, you're amazing. And it's sometimes hard for me to lean into believing people. You keep telling yourself, like, you're not useless, you're amazing. For some people, that actually will kind of train their brain into feeling more ease with that. For me, I try not to spend too much time trying to think differently, but I try to behave differently. This is a struggle for many of us every day. Like, I'd love to say that I have consistent days, weeks, months, and years of feeling amazing. That's just not my story. And I've also stopped obsessing about why that isn't my story, because that's a lot of where that kind of cycling happens. And also, if you feel consistently or persistently useless, irrelevant, and worthless, that would really be a time to get professional help and talk to someone about it, because it's a serious set of feelings. It usually comes from a really strong desire to be heard and understood. And the fact is, people closest to us often know us so well that we don't get that constant validation of like, you're okay, or I'm sorry you're going through that. But you still want to be heard and held.
A blind woman leading the blind. So they're calling her, telling her that, and she feels that, and she giving them bad advice. You getting validation from someone else about those issues, or anything really, but especially about those issues, only put you deeper into hell. Validation is not going to change that one iota. One iota. It's going to only make it worse. The only way that you're going to overcome those evil feelings, because that's what they are, those evil emotions, because that's what they are. Even the feel-good emotions are evil emotions. And the only way that you're going to overcome that, you got to overcome anger. Anger is hatred. Hatred is evil. And anyone that has anger has fear and hatred. They're both the same. It's just, they used to call it hatred, but they changed the name down through the years to make anger sound better. But it's still hatred. Separating you from God. Turning you away from the Father. And you're turned away from the Father. And by being turned away from the Father, you have all those things. Useless, irrelevant, worthless. And you think it's you, not knowing it's the spirit of evil that made a home in you, and you've identified with it. Anyone that tells you that anger is good and that Jesus was angry and anger is good is your enemy, your spiritual enemy. They're keeping you away from eternal life. I was talking to a young man yesterday on the Fallen State, and he said that he was a Christian. He's 60 years old now. He said he is a Christian, and that I was so, how did you become a Christian? He accepted Jesus. I'm like, they ain't gonna make you no Christian? Where did you get that from? That all you had to do was accept Jesus and become a Christian. He heard it from somebody else, from the preacher or someone, he said. That ain't going to do it. You got to see what's going on with you. And seeing is what changes you from death, spiritual death, to eternal life. You got to work on you, folks. These people don't know what they're talking about. And then next thing they'll do is give you medication for it. Oh, you feel useless? You feel worthless? You feel this? Here is, you have HDPD. Here's some medication. Now you're walking around really useless because you're walking around like a zombie. Not even working on yourself anymore. It's up to you. You can stay in your hell and suffer, or you can come out of it and live. It's up to you. Either paradise on earth or continue your hell on earth. Anger is not good, but these people love anger. Anger is being promoted as good in the churches and outside the churches. And no one that has anger is free. They're not free. They have no perfect peace, but they still push anger. Well, everybody angry. Oh, duh. That's because everybody need to be born again of the Father. They love anger. The Daily Wire. Some of Biden's aides avoid meeting alone with him. According to the Daily Wire, some of Biden's aides avoid meeting alone with him as he is prone to yell. I can say it. God dang it. But he said another word. And then he say, how the F? Don't you know this? Don't effing bull me. Oh, don't effing bull S-ing me or S me. What the? And get the F out of here. According to the report, the president yelling at his aides in that way. On Tuesday, on, man. But apparently, Joy Behar, on Tuesday, Joy Behar said that she was turned on by Biden's vulgar rants. Watch this from The View.
I think it was just someone being angry make you turned on.
I'm turned on by Biden's anger. I am too. I like it.
You like it?
I do.
Well, you have said that before.
I like that. I mean, he's such a mild-mannered, sweet guy.
But you know he's not. We've heard, listen,
I don't think that it's Whoopi that it's like anger management, and he needs anger management. He just blows off steam. It's white male privilege, it's called. You know, imagine if it's a woman or a black guy doing that.
I'll give you a woman. Last night, putting my kids to bed, I was screaming so much. I turned to my husband, I said, my heart rate is like, I'm racing. And he's like, well, maybe it was the yelling. And I wake up to this headline of him getting mad. And I'm like, imagine waking up being President Biden. You're too old still. The economy sucks. The border's open. Your son's a mess. What about that grandchild you don't claim? He broke royal protocol with King Charles. Every way he turns, he does something wrong. He is allowed to get mad. I do at 3 small kids who do very little.
By the way, this whole notion that the economy is in bad shape, it's not.
Wow, she love it. She love it. It turns her. You'll be surprised at the number of women who love it when men treat them like the worst that you can be treated. They would prefer to have that over a nice, weak man. And they would call the nice, weak man weak and take advantage of him and destroy him. And they would call the man who cuss at her, treat her that way, as strong as she'll do anything for him. Sound like that's what Joy Behar is referring to. She loved pain. What the? Well, a whole lot of women are like that. Talk to nice men, and they'll tell you, how come women don't like nice men? They like men who will beat them up, cuss at them, take their money. Because both are weak. The man that act that way and the ones that is nice are both weakness, but they really hate the nice guy because there's nothing there but weakness. And then the guy that beat them up, yell at them, take their money, it's a false strength, but that's better than nothing for them because their nature need the man to be strong in the right way. In the right way. A spiritual battle, a warfare between good and evil. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, your phone calls and super back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They're using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. Happy White History Month. July is White History Month. 6 years of celebrating white history. July just feels white. What the? Amazing. Amazing. Brand new episode of The Fallen State today at noon, at 12. The Fallen State. I had an interesting conversation with Dory Love. He is a street preacher, evangelist, and founder of the Ministry of the World. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
What is your purpose of street preaching?
To save souls. Every single time when you go against me, you're going to lose because I stand on the Bible and the Bible is the truth.
How do you know you have returned to God?
Because I don't have any anger and I forgive everybody.
Blacks used to think for themselves.
God makes you a free thinker. You think outside the box.
Were you liberal at any point?
Yeah, when I was on welfare. Yeah, Clinton, give me that check.
You have children?
4 girls.
Beta. Today at 12 noon, thefallenstate.tv. And remember, you can support The Fallen State by becoming a member on the YouTube channel there. All right, thank you all for that. And at 9 a.m. this morning, the Hake Report.com from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And James Hake is on fire. The Hake Report. And at 4 p.m. Pacific time today, every Friday, the Lord is willing, the American anchor baby, he fly high in the airplane, not high off pot, but high off natural energy in a plane. Where Kamala, I wonder if he's going to allow Kamala Harris to put some extra bathrooms on his plane. You heard about Kamala Harris wanting to do that, right? How did we get an empty doorknob as a vice president? What the? But anyway, the American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. today. And then Sunday Fellowship for All at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Doors open at 10:30 a.m. Doors open at 10:30 a.m. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/church. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. I want you to make note of this. I will be here this Sunday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. But the following Sunday, July 23rd, I won't be there. Joel Friday will be holding the fellowship for me on Sunday, July 23. He black. Make note of that. July 23, all right? But I will be here this Sunday if the Lord is willing. And the creek don't rise this coming Sunday. Amazing. So let me go to Chris, our first-time caller out of Seattle, Washington. Chris, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you so much, Jesse. It is really amazing just to get through. I'm grateful to be on your show.
Right on.
Started listening to you guys about 2 years ago. Found you through Get a Job. And
Get a Job is amazing.
He is amazing. That's great stuff. That led me to listening to your show on the daily, and your show has been enlightening. It has truly shown how to live in the world but not be of it. That's one of my biggest takeaways from your content, and that led me to watching church, coming to church online every Sunday, and I'm really, really grateful for that. It didn't take me long, Jesse, to get to catch the vision, and so about 3 months into watching your show, I did call and speak to my mom. That was during COVID, and she was in a home at the time, so I wasn't physically able to be there, but I had that conversation with her, and it was one of the scariest things that I've ever done in my life. But
yeah,
it was a terrific conversation. She was grateful to have the conversation with me, and I'm fortunate that I did it when I did it, because a few months later she did pass.
She did.
My dad, he did. I was able to. I learned from you in listening to the show. Other people have asked how to forgive a parent who's dead, and I did have a terrific relationship with my dad. So since I've done that, that's been almost, let's say, 18 months. I've been learning how to live in the world but not be of it, as I said earlier. I think the next step for me is to apologize to my kids. I've got 3 adult kids. My wife and I got married in a fallen state. It's been, let's call it rocky. It's been a normal marriage, and that there have been some issues. Nothing that would have broken the marriage. We've been married for 34 years next month. But I think the next thing for me to do is to speak to the kids. You talk every day about how to forgive your mom, and I know how that conversation starts. How does the conversation start? Hey, son, hey, daughter, I need to apologize to you for what I did to you.
Let's say that you were impatient with them, or you were angry and impatient. Son, daughter, I'm sorry, I was wrong for being impatient. Or if you didn't protect them, which most fathers don't, then protect them from their mother and allow her to impose her anger, her will upon them. I was wrong. I should have stood between your mother and you so that she could not have imposed her will on you. And I'm sorry, I was wrong.
That's it right there.
Come back to your phone.
That's it right there. You hit the nail on the head. There are a lot of things that I could have apologized for, but it's definitely letting her take the reins in the household. I was beta male for forever, and so it's been a journey to discover that and to make those changes internally. So that's it. What you just said is a simple answer. I'm grateful for that. I need to apologize to each one of them. I should do it individually, I assume, have that conversation one-on-one with each of the 3 kids, and just keep it simple like that.
Yeah, if the opportunity comes where all 3 are together, whichever opportunity comes first. If they're individuals, do it that way, but if they all happen to be there at the same time, do it that way.
Wow. All right, well, that's what's next for me. It is, it's so simple. One of the things I love about your show, about the church in particular, is that you just keep it simple, right? It's simple and it's consistent, and in that way, that's one of the things about reading the Bible, the stories that Christ would tell, right? That the Bible tells us that Christ spoke in parables, and you do that for us on your show. The message is simple and it's repeatable every day, which is what makes it so easy for us to see the light. Of course, we've got to make the decision to act on that. But I'm really grateful to have found your content. Thank you so much for what you do.
You're welcome. And God's ways are simple. His burdens are light. That's why he said, take on my ways, because anyone that has anger or hatred, which is the same, Their burdens are heavy. Their ways are hard and rough, and I mean, they're catching hell. But if they return to the Father, their life will become simple and easy, and it's mind-blowing. But they got to return to the Father. They got to overcome evil and return to good.
And doing that path is it's such an easy path when you let go of that baggage.
Absolutely,
you got less
man.
to carry with you. Freedom. I'm only at the beginning stages of it, but freedom is so amazing to walk that path.
Yeah.
And to be able to start to see the evil around me is amazing.
Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Every morning, every night.
Stay with it and just continue to watch those thoughts. That's all you need to do is to do the silent prayer and watch the thoughts. And if you get caught up and feel all that crappy emotional stuff, just watch it, let it pass, and just live your life, live your day one moment at a time. And the life is happening for you because of ourselves. We can do nothing. We can't make it happen. But it is happening for you, and you haven't seen anything yet, Chris. It just, there are no words to express.
Yeah, I can't wait for what comes next, and I could literally do this afternoon. Jesse, maybe a quick follow-up question. I get the sense that this conversation with my kids should be my next step, rather than go and confront or apologize to my wife. Would you agree with that?
Whichever come first.
Would that conversation be similar with her? Would that conversation started?
I'm sorry for letting you down. I wasn't a man. I wasn't in the light. I didn't lead you out of your hell. I went into your hell with you. And I'm wrong. I'm sorry. That's all you need to do.
It's so simple.
Yeah. Is she working on herself?
No.
Oh,
no.
man.
And so I've been working on me for a year and a half, 18 months or so.
Right.
And what I've learned from you is it doesn't make sense to boast about it. Hey, I'm making these changes and I've changed my ways, because I've changed my ways 1,000 times in 34 years, right? And it always fails. So I'm just making the changes and moving forward. And I can tell that she has seen that, and she at certain points she's not liking what she sees. She's losing that control that she had.
Yes, 100%. I was going to tell you, and you're right. Don't boast about it; just live it, right? But if she is not working on herself, how long you been married?
34 years now. I'm sorry. The answer to your question is 33 years.
You have not seen hell until you start changing, and she can no longer control you. Unless she start working on herself, you're about to deal with real hell. But because you're dealing with hell now, with heaven, you're using heaven to deal with hell, you're going to be fine. But you're going to see Satan in ways that you've never seen him come out of her.
Yeah.
But you'll see how to deal with it, and you'll be fine. And then she might, in the next 50 years, she might wake up, and then you'll die, but you'll be fine.
Excellent. I've got it on good authority that I got about 50 left, so I'm ready for that.
Right on. Well, stay with it, Chris.
I appreciate that. I'm so thrilled to have for that you took my call. Amazing work that you're doing down there, and I can only hope that someday soon I can get down to LA and see you guys all in person. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome, buddy. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right. If you want to really see the hell in the woman that you're with, wait until she starts losing control over you. Wait until you don't cater to her evil emotions. You don't cater to my emotions. You don't love me. You don't listen to me. And what she's really saying is, you don't allow me to control you anymore. You're cheating on me. You're this. What she's really saying, come back into my hell and let me control you. I can't live without that. Because she's having internal conflict like nothing going no. It's like stop you know how those people that use drugs and they stop using it, and then they start wigging out, shaking, or whatever they do. I forgot, withdrawal. It's like that. That's what she's feeling on the inside. The drug is no, she can't use the drug no more. And she ain't ready to overcome the drug. Super chat. Super.
Super chats.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
All is well. How are you?
Amazing.
Yes.
How is Toby? Oh, his name's not Toby, right?
Kente?
Your dog.
Oh.
Who let the dogs out?
Mr. Sandman. Just got a brand new I'm the Boss t-shirt.
Mr. Sandman. Oh, yeah? You bought him a shirt?
Yeah, brand new I'm the Boss.
Sounds boss.
Because I took him to the beach.
Who would have thought that one day men and women would be buying clothes for dogs?
Are you going to get a tattoo of him on your face?
I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Anything is possible.
I'm telling you.
But I'm saying no to drugs, though. My shirt today is Dare.
Oh, nice. Are they still around?
I don't know.
Yeah, I never hear anything about them.
It's a throwback.
Dare to be different.
Yeah. Amazing. Super chat.
Mav Angel gave a Ninjagini yesterday saying, Jesse, top streamer of the month on D Live. Amazing.
Amazing. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
To you.
Oh, thank you.
Greenwall gave a diamond saying, Jesus. Oh, this is the answer to the biblical question.
What color was Jesus?
Jesus prob looked like modern Assyrian Christians.
Assyrians?
Yeah, modern Assyrian Christians.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. Thank you.
And I just searched it, and I can confirm. Evgeny Crosby gave a couple of diamonds on D Live. Ray Epps is warming up his cell while watching church with Jesse Lee Peterson.
Amazing. Thank you.
On Streamlabs, jesseleepeterson.live. Clarion Plink donated and stated, Jesse, when you say think on these things regarding biblical questions, is that practical thinking?
Yes, because you're aware of yourself thinking. Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely. And you don't go around all day just thinking about it. When you hear the biblical question, at first it becomes like intellectual knowledge for you. And then just kind of watch and let the knowledge go, because you got to die from the intellect, right? Let the knowledge go, and then the understanding will come. But pay attention to what's happening on the inside of you through those thoughts. Amazing. Thank you.
Over on Buy Me a Coffee.
BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP
Talk. Get it off your chest Friday questions. That silly YouTube has been pushing. Did I say John Zimmer bought 6 coffees? He says that silly YouTube has been pushing videos featuring Southern black cooks washing their chicken with soap. I get rinsing chicken, but washing it? Seriously, is this a Southern thing, a black thing, or even a thing? Or is it just part of the #RBGCCC, round ball globe chicken something conspiracy? ?
Thank you. I've never seen that before, because my grandparents or my parents didn't do that with soap. But I have heard of some people doing that.
With like dish soap, huh?
Yeah, washing it with soap. But I never seen it, but I have heard of it. What the?
And he gives a winky face.
Thank you.
With a semicolon, a hyphen, and a closed parentheses.
Amazing. Thank you.
On Buy Me a Coffee as well, a couple of more coffees.
Buy me a coffee.
Or a few more, rather. Big Mac America bought a coffee saying, Happy White History Month, Jesse.
Happy White History Month. July just feels white. Thank you.
Amazing work you are doing, uniting the races with truth. I don't have a grandpa anymore, but Grandpa, tell me about the good old days.
Grandpa, tell me about the good old days when life wasn't so crazy.
Poor Naomi Judd.
Take me back to yesterday. Where is she now?
In heaven. Looking up.
Looking up at God. Amazing. Thank you.
Alex C. Jr. bought 3 coffees.
Buy me a coffee.
And says, ask.
Ask. Oh.
And thank you, guys.
Thank
you. Justin Childers donated on Streamlabs saying, Jesse, you have been faithfully doing the JLP show, Fallen State, and Church for years now. What is your secret to faithfulness?
Let go of anger and let life happen. Let go of hatred and let life happen. Really. And then you give up trying to make your life work, and it just works. Really. You have natural energy. It's amazing. Thank you.
Soul Conscious on Streamlabs, Jesse Lee Peterson Live. Jesse! And he's going to answer the biblical question.
What color was Jesus?
Jesus was white on the inside and outside, Soul Conscious says.
Thank you. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. If the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise.
Indeed. And thank you, guys. I do believe that is all for now.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. Amazing. Let me go to Dimitri out of Indiana. Dimitri, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's up, Jesse? How you doing today, man?
All is well.
Back on here, man.
All is well. Speak right into your phone.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Glad I could get back on with you, man. I've been doing some research, man, and I ended up finding the correct scriptures for you this time, man. And I didn't want you to be lost. So I wanted to share with you what I found and give you some more revelation that I've been studying about this week, man. So one of the scriptures was Matthew 25:35. It said, "For when I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, you invited me in. I needed clothes, you clothed me. I was sick, you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me."
Who said that?
That was in the scriptures. That was in the Word of God.
Who wrote that?
That was in Matthew.
So Matthew wrote that?
Yeah.
And your point is what?
That the scripture that I was
Dimitri, can you hold for me?
Telling you about last time.
Can you hold
about
for
why
me?
we feed the homeless, remember?
Can you hold for me?
Yeah.
All right, let me take a break. 2 more hours to go. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news, but the Hake news. The guy with the good hair, I'll be back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
Sleepy Joe's talking big over Ukraine-Russia thing. He says Putin's lost already. Could be. Secret Service can't or won't say who brought the Coke to the White House. Not Diet Coke, not President Trump's Diet Coke. And France is going to pay you to repair your clothes. Patches, stitches. Nice, huh? That's cool. This is the end of hour one of the Jason Lee Peterson Show. It is Get It Off Your Chest Friday, July 14th, 2023 AD. There is one line open. You can call in to get on air or to wait on hold to get on air to talk to JLP. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Putin lost. Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports so-called President Sleepy Joe Biden wrapped up his trip to Europe this week by asserting that Russian President Vladimir Putin has already lost the war in Ukraine. There is no possibility of him winning the war, Sleepy Joe said at a news conference on Thursday yesterday, emphasizing the strength of the NATO alliance. He predicted that the war will not go on for years. Seems like it might have already had, but not sure. Biden said Putin will ultimately decide it's not in the interest of Russia to continue to demand limited sources, due to limited sources. Separately, the U.S. military confirmed that American cluster munitions have arrived in Ukraine. This comes after Sleepy Joe raised eyebrows last week, saying that he had made the difficult decision to approve their transfer despite being banned in more than 100 nations. Cluster munitions are canisters that disperse bomblets. Bomblets. Doesn't that sound kind of cute? But it's not. Over a wide area and can fail to explode on impact, posing a risk to civilians. Can't find who brought the Coke. The U.S. Secret Service has concluded its investigation into a small bag of cocaine found at the White House earlier this month in the public area. I think they called it that. And has been unable to identify a suspect. The agency stated in a statement, FBI lab results from the packaging found insufficient DNA and could not retrieve any fingerprints, according to their statement, if you believe it. I do. The investigation was closed after a Secret Service officials combed through security systems and indexed several hundred individuals who entered the West Wing before the discovery. Investigators were unable to find surveillance footage to identify the particular moment or day when the baggie was left inside the West Wing. A source familiar with the investigation told CNN that the leading theory remains that it was left by one of the hundreds of visitors who entered the area that weekend for tours. President Trump knows how to make money. Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports $1 billion. That's roughly how much our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, appears to have earned in his post-presidential life since January 2021. According to new financial disclosures, the latest filings show Trump received multi-million-dollar speaking engagements, deals since he left office, including one worth $2.5 million to provide commentary at a boxing match. Nice. Good going, President Trump. Chipotle is going to test robots to speed up guacamole production. Did you hear about that? Replace the humans. Commie Nonsense Network says Meat Avocado, a machine that can cut, core, and peel avocados, and it is still extra because of the avocado cartels down in Mexico, right? Maybe not because of them. Popular artificial sweetener is a possible cancer cause, according to the World Health Organization. What is that, the aspartame? The evil UN's corrupt WHO said more research needs to be done on one of the most commonly used artificial sweeteners around the globe if you're a ball-tard. I think that's that aspartame, yes indeed. And I think might be in Diet Coke. But I think, didn't we know that ever since like the 90s or 80s? France will pay you to repair your clothes. The country wants to pay to restitch your clothes to cut down on waste and pollution from the textile industry. Isn't that smart? That actors' strike is still going on, it's just started, I guess. Tens of thousands of Hollywood actors officially on strike today, creating tremendous uncertainty for the entertainment industry. Some films are already going to be coming out, but there may be a shortage of blockbusters next summer. Fine by me, am I right? I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved. There's one line open at 888-77-53773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. My biblical question for this week. My biblical question. What color was Jesus? What color? Oh, in the name. What color was Jesus? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about, wherever you are in the world, we are heard around the world by everybody and their mama. You can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad. If you don't have time to watch it, sit and watch it. You can podcast, of course. But you can listen to the show by calling the listen line on your iPhone or iPad, 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. And cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy.tv/JLP. Like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, and blah, blah, blah. It's Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. It is whatever is on your mind. Express yourself Friday. I wonder if you've been smoking pot.
And there's a reason why I'm getting the off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two fucks, but I am telling you right now, telling you right now, telling you right now, right now, right now. I don't give two fucks. I don't give two fucks. I don't give two fucks. I don't give two fucks.
Secret Service is trying to figure out how cocaine was discovered inside the West Wing of all places.
Not real. You can either believe it or they cannot believe it.
Oh, mess. That's anger, hatred at work. And you think anger is good. Jesus was angry. Hold on to your anger. Live in your hell. Those people need to return to the Father. They need love. The Father's love. What a mess. Let me go to Colin. Colin, a first-time caller out of Maryland. Colin, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, sir.
So my question is, do you believe that Jesus Christ is God?
No.
Why not?
Because he's his son.
But it says in the Bible in many verses that he is God.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. In John 1:1-3, it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And all things were made by him, and without him nothing was made.
That's true about God, but that doesn't say Jesus was God.
Well, it says that the Word was God. Jesus is the Word.
God is the truth, and the Word was in Jesus, which was from the Father, in Jesus. The Father was in the Son. Father and Son are one. You believe he's God?
Right. Yes.
And what good has it done you to believe that?
So much good. I used to be an atheist, and I became a Christian, and it's changed my life.
In what way?
I've just found a peace. I'm not angry anymore. I don't have sin as much, and Jesus has just transformed my life.
And you have perfect peace?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, hold on to it then, man, if it's working for you.
Of course.
All right.
But I think that the Bible shows that Jesus Christ is God in the verses.
Well, what you just read didn't show that.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't.
Is Jesus the Word?
No, Jesus, the Son of God. God is the Word.
What about the Trinity?
What about him?
The Trinity. God is a Trinity. That's what Christians have believed for all of history.
Look how blind and weak they are.
No, it's the truth.
And so you believe in something called the Trinity?
Yes, the Trinity, that God is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Where'd you get that from?
Well, the Trinity is a doctrine of the church since the first century.
Where'd you get that from?
Well, the Trinity isn't named in the Bible, but the Bible verses point to it being true.
So if that is true and the Christians are into the Bible, why have they gotten worse and not better?
Which Christians gotten worse?
All of them.
Why do you think that?
You don't see, have they gotten better?
I think some of them are good, but I don't think all of them are bad.
What?
You say that the Christians have gotten worse. I don't think so.
And why not?
Because I think that there have been a lot of movements that have changed the Christian message, have destroyed the Christian message, but I think that true Christians still exist, and they do the work of God here on earth in this time.
So you don't see that they have mass-produced the Bible, and everybody and the mama read the Bible, but nothing has changed? You think, in what way have they, you said they've been doing the work of God?
Some of them, yeah, some people, but it's very few. Few.
What is the work of God?
Well, the work of God is spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ.
How?
Well, by proclaiming that Jesus Christ is Lord and nobody can enter heaven except through him.
All right.
And there are plenty of people who say that.
Okay. Well, hang on to that, buddy. I don't want to convince you. I'll leave you right in your hell until you're ready to come out, because you're not supposed to convince anyone of the truth. Either they see it or they don't. So I wish you well with that, all right?
Okay. See you, Jesse.
All right, buddy. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Jermaine, a first-time call out of Michigan. Let's see here. Jermaine, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Uncle Jesse, how are you?
All is well, sir. Thanks for calling.
I have a question for you. So I'm like one of the I'm black, and I'm one of the coon. I'm one of the coon friends out of all my friends. But I some of the things that you say I agree with, and some of those things I relate to my friends. But I had a question in regards to, what do you mean when you ask people, do you love all white people? What do you mean by that?
I mean, do you love white people?
I mean, that could be, and I'm trying to get clarification. Do you mean, do I love them because of the color of their skin, or do I love them because of cultural reasons? That's what I mean.
No, do you love white people?
No.
You don't love white people?
No.
Are you a Christian?
No. Well, let me say this. I don't love all black people either.
I
love people by their character.
Are you a Christian?
I was brought up with Christian values. Yes.
Are you a Christian?
But I'm not necessarily. At this point in my life, I would say yes.
Are you a Christian?
Yes.
And you don't love white people?
I don't love people just off the color of their skin. I don't love all people. I love all people by their character. I can go down the street and say I love a black person. That'd be the person that blow my brains out. So I don't love people just by the color of their skin.
And
now I love white people. I love white culture and what they've done, what they brought to the United States and built this country. But do I just see a white person and love them because they're white? No.
So do you love white people?
No.
Oh, okay. But you're a Christian?
No, I'm not a Christian. I'm gonna take that back. I'm not a Christian. I was brought up in Christian values.
What's going on with you, man?
No, I was brought up. No, I'm not a Christian. I'm gonna say no.
Why did you say yes then if you're not a Christian?
Because I was brought up in Christian values. I identify with Christianity more than anything else.
What are
Christian values? But at this point in my life, but being brought up in the church, being brought up in a Baptist church.
What are Christian values?
Being brought up in a church, loving God, understanding who Jesus was and what he's done for us.
And you say loving God?
That I feel. Yeah, loving God, loving Jesus, following the 10 Commandments. That's what I was brought up on. Being in the Baptist church,
but you no longer have those values.
Not all of them. I identify with some of them, but not all of them.
You got rid of the love part.
No, it is that I don't love all. Well, let me tell you why. I don't think I got rid of the love part, but I don't love people just off the color of their skin. I don't love all people. I have to know a person. I have to trust a person. I have to understand and build a rapport with that person so I can say I love them. Now, if you talk about do I love all black people, I don't love all black people either.
And so, will you ask if you love black people?
No, but I know you bring that up all the time. So I wanted to lay that too because I'm black.
But I didn't ask if you love black people.
Okay.
And so you love God?
Yeah, I love God. But
how do you know you love God? Let me ask you a question. How do you know you love God?
Because I pray to God every day. I do the silent prayer. I try to follow God's values as much as I can in regards to passing that message. The way I run my household. Men first, fathers first, women second, and mother over children. Those are the values that I live by. I am the leader of my household, and those are God's values and laws.
And so is it possible to love God but not love white people?
Yes.
How is that possible?
Because it's possible. Love will get you killed. You can't just love anyone just because of the color of their skin. I love white people for the culture that they brought into the United States and into the world, and some of the great things that they've done. But do I love them? Do I see a white person down the street and say I love that person? I love that white man? No.
Do you think God loved white people?
I can't speak for God, but I'm assuming I'm going to say if I was a better man, I would say yes. He created them.
And so if he loved white people and you say you love God, how can you not love white people?
I don't love anyone until I know them. I mean, look what happened to Jesus. I'm sure Jesus loved everyone too. You see what happened to him.
What happened to him?
Well, he was crucified, right?
And so what happened to him?
By people, I think that I'm sure he said he loved too.
But you said that Jesus was crucified by people that he said he loved?
I'm assuming he loved everyone, right? That wasn't that part of Jesus' message?
Right.
Loving everyone, being your fellow man.
Even
and I'm sure the people that crucified him, he loved
your enemies.
Yeah.
And so if you think that if you loved white people that you would get crucified by them?
No, you twisted that up. But
you might be right. I'm just not clearly understanding what you said. So you may be right. And so you said that, love. Oh, I know what you said. Love will get you killed. You said that, right?
Yeah, love will get you killed. And the reason
how would love get you killed?
Well, same reason you go to the ghetto, and I go to the ghetto. I say I love all these black people. I'm sure I won't last a day. By the same people I said I love. That's why.
But why would you go to the ghetto and say that?
No, I didn't. So no one said that. I'm just saying the mentality. the mentality of I know people that got killed by the same people that say they love, no matter if they were white, no matter if they were black. So I believe in moral character, and as you always say, there's good and evil in everyone, and I don't know who's good and who's evil until I meet these people, until I speak with them, until I have a relationship with these people. That's when I can say I love a person, no matter what color
so
their skin is.
you think that you have to know them before you can love them?
Yes.
Where'd you get that idea from?
From my personal life experience.
And so you love the people that you know?
Yes, that I know and I can trust.
And so, but you don't love the ones you don't know?
Yeah, I can't just meet someone and say I love them because they're a person, they're breathing, they have a pulse.
And so you have to get to know them and trust them, and then you would love them.
Yeah, trust their moral character.
And so Christ said to love your enemies. You don't love your enemies?
That's kind of a hard question. I don't know. It depends. It depends on the enemy. Now, I don't love all my enemies. I can forgive them, but I don't think I can love them.
Why not?
Depending. Some things you can forget. You can forgive or never forget.
Really? If you forgive, there is no such thing as remembering.
Yeah. I guess you're right at one point, but it's still, someone goes out do harm to my son or my daughter. I don't see myself, forget, loving them.
Why not?
That's an enemy.
Why not?
That's an enemy.
But you're supposed to love your enemy.
Yeah, understandable, but Jesse, that's kind of going further what I was asking though.
You were asking about loving white people, right?
I was trying to, because it sounded like when you asked that question, are you asking? That's what I'm saying. Are you asking based on the color of their skin, or are you asking do you love them based on the culture and what the great things that they invented?
I'm just asking. Do you love? I'm just asking. Do you love white people?
No.
Oh, you don't. But you love God, but you don't love white people.
Some that I know, some that are in my family. Yes, I love them to death.
And so when Christ said, "Love even your enemy," he was lying.
No, I mean I can't. I'm not comparing myself to Christ either.
You're not.
I'm not perfect. I can't. I'm not. I would never compare myself to Christ. I can follow that. I'm not perfect. There's going to be things that I'm still a work in progress. I learn every day. But in regards to that, no.
So your heart is still wicked?
No, I don't think it's wicked, but it still has some growing to do.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
we learn every day.
When I ask, do you love white people? I'm just asking, do you love white people? I'm not thinking beyond that at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, understandable. Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
One quick question. You also say there's no such thing as racism,
right?
But every some ways I kind of agree with it, but you also say you're uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies.
Right.
How are you dividing the races with truth when there's no racism? I'm
uniting the race with truth, not dividing them with lies.
Yeah, but how are people racist when you say there's no such thing as racism? It's only good and evil.
You said how are people what now?
You say you're uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. But if there's no such thing as racism, how are there such thing as racist?
But
people?
You don't know that races are real, but racism is an illusion. There are.
No, I'm just asking you. I'm just asking for clarification, just to get understanding.
There are. You know that there are races of human beings, right?
Yeah.
And how is that racist?
Well, because when people call, you always say there's good and evil, not races or racism, and that's
I'm a little confused by your question.
Yeah, every hour
is slow. So you do know that the human race exists, right?
Right.
And then there's another word that the enemies of God and the enemies of America made up to divide the races, and they use that word racism in order to divide the people for personal gain. You do know that, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about there. Racism is just a made-up word. It's not even real. There's no truth to it because it's an illusion. It's not even real.
Okay, so basically people who are making up and who's profiting off of racism.
Yes.
Like the Jesse Jacksons and all. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I understand now.
Amazing. Thank you, buddy.
All right, thank you, Uncle Jesse.
Okay,
thank you.
man. All right, buddy. Amazing. Amazing. Alexis out of Illinois, 888-775-3773. Alexis, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you, Jesse. Good morning. How are you?
All is well. How are you?
I'm doing well, too.
Good.
I realized something, and I wanted to give you a call because I wanted to know your opinion on this.
Okay.
So we always talk about hate, overcoming, living through hell. And I watched this documentary series. I won't say what it is, but it talks about how hate has been like a propaganda here in the United States, and that the Jews actually started it, and that they're the greatest enemies of God and America. And that's also written in the Bible as well. So I just wanted to ask you, do you know about this, Jewish supremacism, and do you know that white supremacism doesn't exist?
I do know that there's no such thing as white supremacists. I never heard of Jewish supremacy, but that doesn't exist either. And I do know for sure and without a doubt, anyone that has anger is the great enemy of God. Any human being that has it is an enemy of God.
Documentary on Zionist Ashkenazi Jews.
Do you agree that anyone that has anger is an enemy of God?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm bringing this up to you.
So the Jews wasn't the first people with anger. All people in the Old Testament had anger. That's why God sent, or maybe one or two that he sent to do the little work, but he sent, the Father sent the Son for those who were lost. And at that time they had anger. They loved evil more than they loved good. And so he sent there for all people, not just the Jews.
Sure, but nothing has changed in a sense for the Jews. Like, it's still something that we see.
You
today.
said nothing has changed as what now?
With the Zionist Jews.
What's a Zionist Jew?
So Mayim Bialik, the lady that you had, the little clip that you had shown us, she was talking about, how does she feel? Does she ever feel like she's worthless and all of that?
Right.
She's an ultra-Zionist Jew. The gentleman that just...
When you said nothing has changed, what do you mean? What do you want to change?
So they can't put down their pagan, idol-worshipping, satanic beliefs. That's still something that's very much alive today, and I think that's the reason why the United States is going through what they're going through. And
that's not true. That's a lie.
How do you know that?
Because if you are going through anything, it has nothing to do with the Jew. It has everything to do with you. The individual that's going through something is their fault and no one else's fault. So America is happening, whatever is happening in our country, and everything is happening, is because of the people, the person. No one else is outside of their fault at all. Only blind people think that.
Well, that's what I'm trying to talk about. Blind people have been indoctrinated, and the majority of people are still
Have you been indoctrinated about the Jew, the Zionists, or whatever you say? Have you been indoctrinated by that?
I have, I believe, yes.
So why don't you overcome? Why don't you overcome your blindness?
Oh, I have.
But you said you've been indoctrinated. If you've been indoctrinated, you're still blind.
Well, that's something that you didn't know until you come out of the indoctrination. If I was still indoctrinated, I wouldn't know that I was indoctrinated.
And so do you believe that the Jews or anybody else, whatever they're saying about the Zionists, whatever that is, do you believe that?
I believe it because I heard it out of the horse's mouth.
So you still indoctrinated?
But it's a different point of view.
But you still indoctrinated. You said you believe because somebody said it, and you should never, ever, 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 ever believe it just because somebody said it. Only a blind person, indoctrinated person, would live and do that. You're not supposed to believe anything just because somebody said it. And so why do you do that?
I just wanted to, that's what I was trying to come around and make the point for, right?
Right.
When I'll just use the video because everybody just seen the video of Mayim Bialik.
But you're not answering my question. Why are you believing something just because someone said it?
Because it's really pure evil, and I'd like to know who the evil people are.
Look inside.
And it's very clear.
Look inside. When you see the evil inside of you, you're going to clearly see the evil inside of everyone that has not returned to the Father. You don't have to try to see it by some book or try to see it based on someone saying something about someone else. You're not going to be able to see evil that way. You're going to only see evil in others when you see it in yourself.
Right. But you see how I could use this gentleman that just called before me as a good example. You know, he sounds like an okay person. He says he's a Christian, but he says that he hates white people. Do you see how he's still being controlled? People live their whole lives believing that they're good Christians, but they're really just as bad as, you know, the really evil, you know, not divine, not merciful people. And then those so-called Christians have to endure a lot of hell.
Do you love the Zionists?
To find God.
You love the Zionists?
Do I love the Zionists?
Do you love the Zionists?
I don't hate them.
Do you love the Zionists?
You know, I don't love or hate them.
Do you love the Zionists?
Yeah, I love them.
Are you a Christian?
Yes, I am.
Do you love the Zionists?
Yeah, I do.
Why you said I don't love him or hate him, I love him, I hate him, I don't, and this. Oh, you didn't know or you don't love him or hate them. Do you love the Zionists?
Yeah, okay, let's say I love the Zionists.
No, not let's say.
The Zionists,
don't just,
I wouldn't know
don't let's say.
Today.
Do you love the Zionists, yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll be fine.
Let them do them.
I'm sorry?
Let them do them.
I'm sorry?
You know, the series made me realize one thing about how easy it is to control people. And, you know, that just doesn't seem fair. It doesn't really sit right with me. And,
okay.
You know,
but you do love the Zionists.
Sorry?
You do love the Zionists.
You already asked me. Yeah, I do. Let them do them.
I'm sorry?
I love them. Yeah, I do love them.
Okay. All right. Well, don't believe something just because someone said it. You have to see for yourself before you know the truth, all right?
Okay. Can I ask you one more question?
Not really. I gotta run, but call me again. We're coming to a break. Thank you, Alexis. I gotta take a break. 888-77-53773. I'll be back in a moment, folks. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry. because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. Okay, folks, welcome back. 888-77-53773. 888-77-Jesse. To get your super chats read out loud, the super chatters, you need to do something. Let me see what that is. Oh. Super chatter, donate and have your comments read out loud. JesseLeePeterson.live. And buy me a coffee.com/JLP talk. Buy me a coffee.com/JLP talk. All right. And you can support us at cash.app/bondJLP. And if for personalized shout outs, go to birthday shout-outs. I do them myself for you. Birthday shout-outs, anniversaries, weddings, whatever the occasion may be. Go to Cameo, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Let me go to Canada and talk to George. George, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. How you doing, sir?
All is well, George. Happy White History Month, George.
Happy White History, sir. Absolutely. I just want to say also, too, I know it's a little late, but happy belated birthday as well. I've been trying to call in to give you a birthday wish, but I wasn't able to get through. But I want to wish you all the best.
Well, I appreciate it.
Well,
thank you.
Jesse, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So I went and forgave my dad first, believe it or not, and that seemed to go okay. I guess he was more looking at some of the things that, he was like, okay, name me this, name me that. I said, it's not about naming things what happened in the past. I just want to say is I know where my resentment, my anger, my patience didn't come from and or why I never had it. And so everything seems to be fine, and we're fine right now. I went and did the same thing with my mom, and she's like, okay, well, I don't know what I did, but you can tell me whatever you want. And she didn't accept any responsibility for anything. And I said, that's fine, whatever. I just felt it better to get it off my chest, like you said. So going, while we're doing that, like my situation is slightly different. And why I say that is because my nephew lives with my parents, and he's 25 years old. Amazing. And yeah, I know. And I just said to her, I go, listen, what you think that you're doing by helping him out, you're not really doing. You're actually making things worse for him because he doesn't know how to be an individual, how to be a man, and how to take responsibility. Because you're just sitting there helping him, catering to him, and all those kinds of things. And so she was, well, what am I supposed to do? I said, I don't know. Maybe you should have started charging him rent, or maybe you should tell him to leave, or just kick him out, right? And that's all I basically said. I left it at that.
Yeah.
So then I noticed that my nephew hasn't been coming over, and he's been canceling on my son, doing this and that. And when I went over twice now, 3 times to my parents' place just to talk to him about a certain couple of things, he left through the front door. Didn't want to see me. Then I find out after that the reason he's upset with me is because my mom told him to kick him out. That I told him to kick him out of the house. And I just thought that was friggin' hilarious because I didn't say it like that. She didn't tell him the full context. She just went and told him, well, guess what? Your uncle told me to kick you out of the house. And that was it. So now he's upset with me. So my question to you is this, is that do you feel that I should confront my mom and say, hey, like, why would you go and say something that's not what I said exactly? Like, I almost felt like confronting all 3 of them because my dad has absolutely no idea. My nephew doesn't even know exactly how it was said to him or how I said it. And my mom just made it seem like, like you said, they built an army against you. Well, that's exactly what she did.
And so your question is, should you talk to them about it?
Should I ask my mom, like, why would you do that? Like, like, do you see, this is what I'm talking about. This is the evil this is the kind of problems that you create, that you cause. Like,
100%.
You're not being truthful.
100%. And
Okay.
then explain to your nephew, yes, you're too old to be living here. You need to get out and get your own place because my mother going to do to you what she's done to me. She'll destroy you. And so...
Well, yeah, exactly.
And he has...
Well, he runs to her for every problem and everything. Like, I don't understand that. I said, you need to be a man. You need to freaking, be on your own.
Well, you were doing him a favor telling him that. And so once you meet with them, you make it clear that what you meant about that, you be done with it. And let them just suffer until they're ready to overcome their own hell. And if they're ready, because most people love their hell.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I you know what, Jesse, I'll be honest with you. Like, I was blind up to the point where until I saw you or heard about you and listened to your message. And I must say, I'm definitely waking up now. I mean, unfortunately, it took me 47 years. But, I'm awake, and I'll tell you one thing, you're definitely helping our whole family out because my sons and my wife watch you and listen to you and take a lot of what you have to say to truth, you know what I mean? And your message is very simple, and it's very honest, and it's very clear. So I thank you for that.
Yeah,
but
and stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. You haven't seen anything yet. It gets better. But when you do talk to them, don't be angry if they reject it. No. But you definitely should make it clear so that your nephew would know that you were giving your mother the best advice, that it's best for him that he be out on his own instead of living under mama's skirt tail, because he's not going to develop into manhood as long as he's living with mama.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So now this is a second part to the same kind of scenario, but so this is another quick question for you, if you don't mind.
Okay.
My brother doesn't live in the same province as I do, and I guess for whatever reason his marriage wasn't working out, and he was seeing another woman and this and that, and I guess my nephew found out, and he went and told my mother, right? Well, so now my brother's ex-wife or girlfriend had called my mom to find out what's going on, and my mom told her that, he's seeing another woman and so on and so forth. Now, again, this has nothing to do with me.
Right.
But I just found out about this because she had contacted me to find out if I know it. And I said, I don't want to be in any of this business. Whatever you guys do, that's on your own. And he's a grown man, you're a grown woman. You need to take care of it yourself. Like, this has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I found out by your mom that he's seen her. And I said, well, that's between you guys then. But the question is this: is that, like, my dad doesn't know about this as well because my mom tends to hide things. But I almost feel like also confronting them about the same thing, saying, why would you go and tell her that he's seeing another woman when you're just making more problems for him as well? Like, is that even, should I even mention that, or is that just completely irrelevant?
I mean, if it comes up, be honest with her about because your mother is evil. And I would point that out if it comes up. But since it has nothing to do with you, I would leave that out and just deal with the nephew thing and let your brother suffer until he's ready to overcome his hell. If he asks you about it, just say, I heard about it, but I'm not into that. You need to forgive your mother because she's evil. She can't help it. But I wouldn't. That has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, and the only reason why I bring that up is because I just wanted to expose that, because I don't think my dad sees my mom the same way I see her. I for some reason, my dad's changed. He's become a little bit weaker in his older age, and he finds that everything she says is the truth. And like, I find him being a little more beta now that he's older than I've ever seen him in my life.
Well, he doesn't believe that everything she says is the truth. He's going along with the lie in order to try to get along, but he doesn't know that's only destroying him. But he's just
I know.
He's just trying to go along with her because he can't deal with her.
Yeah, possibly. Okay.
So
okay.
he's always been weak, because if he was strong, he would have stood between you and your mother so that she couldn't do what she's done to you.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
So you're just waking up, so you see how weak he really is. He's always been that way.
No. Yeah, that's so true. Absolutely, Jesse. Well, Jesse, I just want to say thank you very much for taking my call and for taking the time, and I wish you all the best and and everything, and a good, healthy life.
Thank you, man. The same to you. And are you doing the prayer every morning, every night?
Well, I would be lying to you if I say I do it every morning, every night. So the answer is no, but I do try to do it.
What a bait!
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I don't like being called up. I'll take it as an honor from being called up by you.
I want to encourage you because you have a family and you are dealing with evil, right? And so
yes, I know.
You want to stay present. So I want to encourage you to stay with the prayer. You got to do it morning. You don't have to, but I reckon, because God said pray without ceasing, because you want to get to a point, and you will, where you're going to find yourself living in the present more than not, rather than going to the past or the so-called future that doesn't exist either way. You're going to find yourself naturally living in the present. It'll become a normal, natural way.
Jesse, you know what the thing is? I'll be honest with you. You know, when I try to do the silent prayer, sometimes those friggin' voices are so strong. I know you're laughing, but I'll tell you something. It's like I say to myself as I'm doing it, okay, you know, that's enough. That's enough. I don't want to listen to this, and it's very overwhelming sometimes. You know, it's crazy.
But
really
you got to face the devil, though. That's just the devil in your imagination and emotions.
Yes.
And he doesn't want you to sit still and let the light destroy him, take him away from your body. And so that's why he's yelling at you like that. You just sit there and take it anyway.
Okay.
And the pain and the overwhelming feeling or whatever you get is not you at all. It's not you.
Yeah, no, I do believe that. And I don't know, I don't get no pain. It's just more so of the overwhelming, the voices are so loud sometimes that it's just hard to concentrate to be in that quiet peace that you want to be in.
Right,
you know?
but I understand what you said. I totally understand it. But if you just sit there, as long as you can, stare at the devil, don't argue with him, don't have a conversation with him, he's going to scream and get loud, and he's going to get some little demons to come and help him. He's just fighting against the light. And it's not you. Just practice watching that and relax and let it pass. And you'll see eventually the devil will depart from you. All those thoughts, the intellect will die.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, Jesse. I appreciate it, sir.
You're welcome, buddy. I wish you well.
I wish you well as well, and all the best of your crew as well. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Amazing. Amber, there's a line open at 888-7753-773. Amber, a first-time call out of Washington State. Amber, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
All right. Okay, am I on the line with you?
Yes.
Okay, nice to talk to you.
You too. Welcome.
So, I've been actually going through some stuff right now where it's been 15 years or so where I am no longer Christian. And every now and then I try to go back and read the Bible and things like that. But there's something about it that's just what I was told and what led me away from it. It's I can't, every time I even try to read the Bible or go back and try to believe in it again, it's like Santa Claus to me or something, because of what others have told me or whatnot. Because my heart and soul was just good, and I grew up non-religious. Like, my family wasn't religious, but me and my heart and my soul and what I believed in, and I believed in God and would hear about it, and I wanted to go to church, and my family didn't take me to church. And then years later, I had my mom just, like, putting all this doubt and continuing this doubt where, you know, like, where even Jesus was no prophet. Jesus was just a man. This, that, and this. That part of the Testament was written later. Constantine, this, other things. And then the Old Testament, too. She even had all her little judgments about that, where it's like, okay, like, even that was just an old government way. Like, put fear in people, make believe God, fear, and if you do bad, God's going to strike you down, and then you're going to go to hell and not heaven, and things like that. So when that got brought to me when I was, like, in my 20s more, and my mom, and you always say, forgive your mother, and I'm like, it was my mother that did that to me. And I was like, she ripped that all away from me. And even though I feel in my heart and my soul that, you know, I'm like, I want to still believe, but then I'm always, like, questioning because my mother and everything she said to me later. And I'm like, every now and then when I ask people, like, what still makes you have that faith? What keeps you still going? And you can probably go to church, where I didn't go to church, so I didn't have, you know, the extra community, scriptures being read, things like that. I didn't have any of that. And so, but then I had the opposite of somebody trying to deny all that. So I'm just like, every now and then lately I've been asking people, like, what keeps your faith? What, you know what I mean?
And so your question for me is what?
Like, is there, like, even things, like, that you could think of, or scriptures, like, even in the Old Testament or something, too, that even relates to the New Testament, and Jesus was a real prophet, and all of this is real, you know, like, my heart and soul wants to believe it, but then I have my mom telling me, oh, none of it's true. It's all make-believe. And then you always say, forgive your mother. And then I'm like, Jesse, I have to forgive my mother every day. Because my mother does this to everybody. Everybody.
How old are you?
I'm 43, and my mother, she almost has no friends. And every time she reconnects with friends from high school or something, and she starts hanging out with again, and she's in her 60s, and it's not long, and I watch her do the same thing to them. Their faith, their beliefs, their things that they even believe in politics or anything. My mom is, like, on this little high horse of, she's better than everybody, more intelligent, her way is the right way, and you guys are all ignorant and wrong and dumb. And so I have to forgive my mom every single day, Jesse.
Do you live with her?
No, not anymore. We can't even get along. We cannot get along at all. And
So why do you deal with her every day?
I don't even deal with her every day now.
Oh.
But I have to forgive her every day because I know she does this every day. Like, to other people. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I watched her do it to me, like crushing my beliefs, my faith, my things that I am, like, really, like, passionate about and stuff. And she just, like, crushes it all.
When you ask your father to help, when you ask your father to help you deal with your mother, what does he say?
Okay, my father died years ago.
Did.
And I love my dad, and my dad was, like, my best friend, and my dad was religious, too, and I'd take him to church and whatever, even when he was sick and dying. You know, I even got his pastor to come out to hold his fucking hand while I'm sorry for the F word, but, you know, even to hold his hand and pray with him while he died to make sure that he was going to go to heaven, hopefully, you know?
And so you had
my mom?
You had the preacher to hold your dad effing hands?
I'm sorry for using the F word, but yeah, I brought
Did
my
you
dad's
say to the
pastor.
preacher, hey, come over here and hold my dad's effing hands?
No, I didn't say it like that to my dad's pastor, but I'm like, my dad was big in the church. Like, he was in the choir. He was, like, in the band. He played all the drums and everything.
So let me ask you, because of time, what's your question for me?
My question is, honestly, like, do you have anything that you can say? Like, right now, I'm just asking anybody, and I'm asking a lot of people that are so religious.
What's your
and
question
have their
for me?
faith.
What's your
Like,
question?
how do I, is there something, can you even think of something in the Bible or something that might, like, bring me back to thinking it's all real? Because I still feel like it's in my heart and my soul. But, like, is there anything that you can think of, like, any scripture, any words or something to make me feel like I can get back to
Have you
really being Christian again, or some religion, even if it's Muslim? I don't know if you believe in that.
But let me ask, have you gone and forgiven your mother for what she done to you?
I forgive her. I do forgive her.
Did you tell her that? Did you tell her that?
And I have told her that, and I tell everyone that. I forgive everybody. Like, I'll
Hold on,
forgive
your phone all screwed up.
What?
Hold on a minute. Do not hang up, okay? I'm gonna let Sean help you. Do not hang up. Let me go to Russia, around the world, and talk to, what's his name, Sean? In Russia. Vlad, out of Russia. First time caller, Vlad. Vlad, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you very much, Jesse. You are amazing. Your discovery for me of the year, right after Andrew Tate. You are amazing, really. So my question is, well, let me first quickly say my point. You always encourage people and recommend to forgive mom and dad. And what if the dad in the fallen state, right after my mom, I forgive them both. And my dad is living in the fallen state, and you are also encouraged to turning back to the Father. What does it really mean to turn back to the Father? Is it turn back to the heavenly Father or earthly Father? Can you explain it, please, for me?
Turn back to your earthly Father. When you turn back to Him, you're going to naturally return to the spiritual Father. And return to the earthly Father just simply mean don't be angry at Him, forgive Him. And when you don't, because anger is hatred. So you can't hate your earthly father and know God. So when you don't hate your earthly father, you should become a son of God again.
Turning back, you mean actually go back to Him and see and have a movement with Him, just like, communication, etc. Or turning back.
Hold on, buddy. Don't hang up. Hold on. Let me tell them, Sean, not to hang up. Don't hang up. I want to take a quick break. 1 more hour to go. Back in a moment. Hake coming in with the hate news. Not the fake news, but the hate news. I'll be back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, He will fight the battle for you. And He will fight it without, because He will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, He will renew your mind and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
Little abortion update for you guys. They that synagogue shooter from 2018, I guess. He's eligible for the death penalty. The guy who shot up the Jewish people. I guess they were Jewish people, or were they Christians outside that synagogue? And Target may have violated the law. Republican attorneys general are going after Target for their transgender merchandise being a violation to the children. Nice. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Friday. Get it off your chest Friday. July 14th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour 3, last hour of Express Yourself Friday is coming right up. The lines are full, and you can call in to get on air as JLP finishes up with other callers. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Baby killing. Common Nonsense Network CNN reports the House voted Thursday to adopt several controversial, probably meaning in the right direction, amendments pushed by conservative hardliners to a critical national defense bill, as the fate of the must-pass legislation hangs in the balance. Passage of the amendments, which touch on hot-button issues like abortion policy, is expected to cost demon rat votes, and that's Democrat, and could prevent the final passage of the legislation unless House Republicans are able to unite largely behind the measure. One of the most high-profile amendments would prohibit the Secretary of Defense from paying for or reimbursing expenses related to so-called abortion services. The Secretary of Defense. Many Democrats, demon rats, made it clear ahead of the vote that if the amendment was included as part of the defense bill, it would be unlikely to support it. They'd be unlikely to support it. Does that mean that they're subsidizing killing the babies for female so-called soldiers? I don't know. Meanwhile, Republican lawmakers have pushed restrictions on abortions in recent months. Democrat-led states have responded by passing so-called shield laws to protect people who undergo the procedure, meaning women and underage girls sometimes, against the possibility that they could one day face prosecution. That synagogue shooter, a jury found the Pittsburgh synagogue mass murderer is eligible to face the death penalty. The 50-year-old gun male was found guilty June 16th of all 63 charges against him for killing 11 so-called worshipers and wounding 6 others at Pittsburgh's Tree of Life synagogue in 2018. The deadliest attack on Jewish people in the United States targeted. 22 of those counts were capital offenses. This week, the murderer's defense team said his mental illness and delusions took over his thinking. The prosecution called on their doctors who disputed the gun male's diagnoses. In the next phase of the trial, the jury will hear from so-called survivors and loved ones of the victims who will speak to the lasting impact of the shooting. Then next week, the jury will move into the final phase to decide whether to recommend death for the capital offenses. Target may have violated the law. Republicans are escalating their legal threats against retailer Target, pressuring the company to remove merchandise for transgender so-called customers and backtrack on their diversity initiatives. Last week, Republican attorneys general in 7 states wrote to Target, warning that merchandise in its so-called Pride Month product collection could violate the state's child protection laws. The letter followed an anti-LGBTQ campaign against Target that went viral on social media. A separate letter was sent to Target last week by Arkansas GOP Senator Tom Cotton, who said the company's diversity pledge in 2020 to increase black employees by 20% and invest more than $2 billion in black-owned businesses was racially discriminatory, which is against the law, unfortunately. Target did not respond to comment on the comment on Senator Cotton or the Attorney General letter. Mum's the word. Lisa Marie Presley's early death. Did you hear about this? There is no evidence of injury or foul play. She died. It's Hake news. It's late news. Los Angeles County Medical Examiner announced Lisa Marie Presley's death in January was due to complications from a prior weight loss surgery. She's the only daughter of Elvis Presley and Priscilla Presley. They died too, I guess. Suffered a small bowel obstruction, blockage in the small intestine, according to medical examiner's report. It sounds terrible. And she died at age 54. Gone too soon. I'm James Hake.
Got to stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show today. There is one line open at 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. My biblical question for this week. The biblical question: what color was Jesus? What color was Jesus? An amazing question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And also, if you're out and about, whatever you might be doing, and wherever you are, we're heard around the world by everybody and their mama. You can listen to the show on the listen line by calling 641-793-1500. That's 641-793-1500. And don't forget, that's on your iPhone or iPad, right? And don't forget that to follow us. JLP, cozy.tv/JLP and Rumble. You got to know how to rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Follow, like, subscribe, and all those good things. It's Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. And it's whatever's on your mind. Express yourself Friday. I wonder if you've been smoking pot.
And there's a reason why I'm getting the off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two fucks, but I am telling you right now,
I'm telling you.
right now, right now, right now. I don't give two fucks. I don't give two fucks.
Wow.
Secret Service is trying to figure out how cocaine was discovered inside the West Wing.
I wonder if you've been smoking.
Not real. Can either believe it or they cannot believe it.
It's a very, very bad world.
What a mess. And you call anger good. May God have mercy on your soul. Anyone that think anger is good, may God have mercy upon you. Amazing. Grandpa tell me about the good old days. 888-7753-773. Let me go back to Vlad, a first-time call out of Russia, and he was asking about returning to the Father. Vlad, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Jesse.
And so, returning to the Father when you were a kid, and your mother, because of the anger of her heart, and yearning for the Father. She turned you away from your Father by causing you to become angry. And when she did that, she turned you away from your earthly father, and that's why life is miserable, because you can't see. And you need to forgive your father. Hey, Dad, Father, I'm sorry for resenting you, and I realize now you can't help it. And when you forgive him and your mother, God will forgive you and turn you back to the Father, the earthly Father. And through that, through him, you will love, you will come to know God again. And that's when you will come out of the darkness of your imagination into the light of God.
Okay, I got it all, Jesse. Thank you very much. But one thing, back to the earthly Father. Is it the same thing that I should communicate with him? I should talk to him. I should have a movement with him. Such any kind of participating in anything. Because my father is under control of my stepmom. Okay? And he's in evil. He's in a fallen state.
Right.
I cannot trust him. I can forgive him, but I cannot turn it back to him. I cannot imagine it. So, can you please explain this turning back term in the a little bit wider?
Well, turning back just simply means don't be angry at him, don't hate him. It doesn't mean that you got to hang out with him. You don't need to do anything but just forgive him and don't hate him. And once you don't hate him, then God will work out everything else for you. You don't have to hang out with him. You don't need to trust him. Because when you forgive him, you would neither trust him or distrust him. You would just let him live his life, and you wish him well, and that's about it. But you don't have to trust him. You don't have to hang out with him.
Okay, but if he asks me to trust him, but I know that he's in a fallen state, he's not with the right position in front of the God, he's not under his control. Should I trust him? Should I give him a try?
Well, if he asks you to, you should give him a try, meaning that just take it one day at a time and see what happens, because now that you forgive him, you're going to wake up, and he will not be able to deceive you in any way. He won't be able to hurt you or anything, because you can take it or leave it.
Okay.
And once you forgive him, you won't need anything from him. You won't need him to love you. You would love him with the God's love working through you, right? So you won't need him in any way or shape at all. And you can hang out with him or you can not hang out with him. You can talk to him or you can not talk to him. You would be fine because you would have turned back to God by forgiving him. You will start to walk in the light.
Okay, Jesse. Thank you very much for such explanation.
Is that clear?
You helped me. Yeah. Now it's clear for me. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, just turn it back to your earthly father. Just mean don't hate your father. That's all. It doesn't mean you got to hang out or anything, because you can't love God and hate your earthly father, because men represents a representative of God. They're sons of God, even though they may be weak in a fallen state, and the father's trying to turn them back. But when you hate the son, you're going to hate the father. But if you don't hate the son, you won't hate the father.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
Yes, I do. Third day, as I saw it on your video, I started practicing.
Oh, okay. Stay with it, so things will be made even more clear for you, all right?
Okay, thank you very much, Jesse.
Have you forgiven your mother?
Yes, I forgave them all.
Why did you resent your father?
Because of his fallen state.
But why should you resent him for that?
Because he doesn't like the truth. He doesn't like the God.
Right, but you still don't be mad at him about it. If he doesn't like it, just wish him well and go your way, but don't be angry because someone don't want the truth.
Okay, got it.
And then don't try to make him see the truth. You can't make anyone see the truth. You just become the truth. You start living that way, be an example, but you can't make anyone else see it, your parents or anyone.
Okay. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
buddy.
Jason.
Let me know how it goes, all right?
Okay.
All right. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye. 888-775-3773. Let me go back to Amber out of
Hello.
That's much better, Amber.
Can you? Oh, you can hear me much better. Yeah, because I had you on speaker before. Thanks for coming back to me.
Oh yeah. Listen.
Yeah.
You need to forgive your mother and stay away.
I know, and I do every day.
No. You need to
do.
Amber. You need to forgive her and stay away from her. Be done with her.
I know. I mean, I know, and I feel this, but I'm like, at the same time, I love her. She's actually a really amazing person.
No,
except
she's
for the fact
not.
that
She's not amazing, and you don't love her.
I do love her, and I do think she's amazing because I forgive people. And when I forgive, I still love every human on the planet. I
What
don't
do you
even
mean
care
by
if you're like a
amazing?
serial rapist or something. I have forgiveness in my heart for like everybody on this planet. Every mistake they do, I can't judge them. Only God can. And then not only that,
Amber.
people make mistakes. There's all sorts of stuff.
Amber.
Yes.
Amber, what is amazing about your mother?
Jesus, she's someone that will come and help with a ton of stuff and do all this stuff, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because that's maybe just what she does. I have no idea, but
You said that she was amazing. What is amazing about her?
She's very artistic, beautiful person, outgoing, adventurous, travels the world.
So why do you resent her then?
I don't even resent her. It's more like well, maybe you're right. Maybe, yeah. It's really upsetting.
Why do you
she pushed anti-religion stuff on me and pushed me away from believing in God and Jesus anymore.
Okay.
Never took me to church, and then also then pushed that on me when I was even in my 20s.
Hey, Amber.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Be quiet for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing the silent prayer? Yes or no? Morning and night?
And no. And
well, then
because
suffer.
I don't. Wait. Because I don't know exactly what that is, because even how I grew up and never really got brought to church, but felt it was all in my heart. God, Jesus, everything. And nobody even took me to church, so I didn't even have any of those influences or scriptures or anything.
Good.
So I don't even know what the silent prayer is.
Go to www.silentprayer.video. And I want you to start doing that. I recommend you start doing the silent prayer every morning so God can bring you out of your imagination. You're too into your head.
Yeah, and I thank you, because that's actually, why I'm like asking people that are still religious and like
Amber,
how do I get that back in my soul and my heart?
Amber,
yeah.
Do the silent prayer so that God can bring you out of the thoughts out of your head, and He will guide you the rest of the way. You'll come to know Him, and you'll be fine.
Okay, and one thing
everything you're looking for is inside of you. All right.
Okay, and then even in my heart and soul, I feel like sometimes prayer is even in my heart and soul.
Amber, did you hear what I just said?
Prayer is sin unless you're just being faithful.
Amber.
Yeah.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yes.
What did
I'll look it up.
What did I say?
I asked the question, and that's the answer you did give me. So I'm really appreciative, and I'm really going to look it up.
What was my answer?
Because I'm really looking for answers right now.
Amber, what was my answer?
To go and check out the silent prayer.
Right. Start doing that.
Do it twice a day.
Yeah. And let me know how it goes, all right?
Okay, because even right now, I even feel like prayer, when people just pray for this, that, and the other and things, it's I feel like that's even a sin. I'm that kind of person that even feels like
Amber, I
praying
gotta
for
run because of time here. I gotta run, but stop whining.
unless you just
Amber,
are thankful.
Amber.
And you pray for thanks and blessings and everything
she
you
hear
got,
me?
and you're
Hold on,
accepting of
Amber.
the fact.
I don't even think she can hear me. Tell Amber to do the prayer and give it a week and call me back because she carrying on. I don't even know if she even hear me. What the? Let me go to a first time call out of Louisiana, Sandra out of Louisiana. Sandra, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've tried for 2 years to get through.
Wow, you finally made it.
Yes, sir.
Amazing. Well, welcome. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I just have a question.
Okay.
And it's really been troubling me pretty much all my life. I grew up the most fundamentalist religion you could possibly grow up, besides the Amish, I guess, I grew up in a church all my life, pretty much all my life. But the person that gave me the foundation for my Christianity, she was a fire and brimstone preacher direct from the Bible. And I'm wondering, why do a lot of ministers that are men look down on women preaching the word? That's always troubled me, because the woman that gave me that from 4 or 5 years old, when I could understand the Bible a little bit, gave me the fire to know more, it was a woman. Could you please explain that to me?
Okay, I will. But first, for me to understand, what do you mean by fire and brimstone?
I mean, she's a Pentecostal preacher.
Well, what is fire?
She preached, the principles of morals and values and how a Christian should live.
But what is fire and brimstone? I don't know what that is.
Oh, well, I just mean, you listen to black preachers who just get, fired up about the word. That's what I mean by fire and brimstone.
Oh, was she black?
No.
She white?
Yes, sir.
And did that help you when she was doing all that mess?
Well, I could tell you this. It gave me, when I got old enough to read the Bible and actually study more about it, it gave me it gave me the morals and values that I need to go through life as a Christian, yes.
And so, did it help you?
Yes.
Did it give you perfect peace?
Yes.
You have perfect peace?
I have perfect peace.
You never get angry?
I have forgiven my enemies all my life.
You never get angry? Sandra?
Yeah.
Sandra? What the? Her phone. I'm going to put on hold, Sean, see what's up, because she's been trying 2 years to get through. I don't want to hang up on her. Amazing. Let me go to a first-time call out of Indiana, John. John, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going, Jesse?
All is well, John.
Oh, okay. I've been like the caller before me. I've been trying for years to get on and talk to you. I actually got introduced to you. Oh, I'm getting nervous. But I know you always say, oh, it's Jesse.
Relax, it's just Jesse.
Okay. So when I first met you, well, I saw your videos rather. You was like, oh, forgive your mom, and then forgive your dad for allowing your mom.
Come back to your phone. Come back to your phone.
Oh. And then you was like, forgive your mom, and then forgive your dad for allowing your mom to do her mess, right?
Right.
So I was a beta male for a long time because I was living with my mom until like 26 or something like that. I'm 30 now, but I'm out of my mom's house, married, got my own place.
Nice.
But, anyway. Oh, yeah. So,
does your wife obey you?
Yes, she does.
Nice.
Oh, yes. But I give her something to obey her. You know, I've become the man I am now. But, okay, now, my brain is all jumbled. So I remember I was watching a video one day. It was one of the first times I seen the message of forgiving your mom. And I didn't realize that I had such ink. I was so against her at the time. So then I'm like, you know what, let me try something. So I go to her room, and I was like, Mom, you know something? I forgive you. And she was like, what? I was like, yeah, I forgive you. And she was like, okay. And she didn't know how to take it, I guess. But then another time, it was like maybe within that same week, I was like, you know something, Mom? Satan is your daddy. And then she was like, you know, she was mad, but it was like, it took her off. It took her off like guard. So, but I noticed that our relationship started getting better once I forgave her. And that story, I've never met my father because he went to prison. I was like 2, but I spoke to him once when I was 15, and then I spoke to him again recently. But I remember I wrote him a letter, and I told him that I forgave him. And he was like, oh, man, you know. And our relationship started getting a little better. Because at first it was all like, I don't care about him. And then I realized, like, I'm his identical twin, though I am not him. You know, I'm my own man. But I see where everything comes from, you know, all the good stuff and bad stuff. And it's just like, oh, man. I just got to say, Jesse, I've been wanting to talk to you for the longest. And today is a great day because I finally got on. And then I think that, I forget his name. I think his name was the Anchor Baby. The Anchor Baby. I think that's who was like, what's your name? I was like, John Anchor, where you from? Like, India. And I was like, oh, finally talking to somebody. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that was Sean, I think.
Oh, Sean. Well, thank you, Sean. Oh, man. But I can tell you this. Now, majority of my family, they don't like you. But I love you. Literally every morning, I watch your shows, and then I used to love the episodes with Earl and T. I just did a long drive like 2 days ago, and I was literally listening to you all's banter, and I'm just like, oh my God, y'all are hilarious. Hilarious. I gotta ask one more question, then I gotta go take my dog to the vet because we gotta get a shot. What gave you the inspiration? Because I remember seeing, I've actually watched some of your older videos when I don't know the time frame, but it was like looked like the late 80s, 90s when you had this show and you had like all these people come in and sit down and talk. And I'm trying to figure out like what inspired you to at first, because if I'm right, you are a reverend, but then it somehow transitioned over into your message that you have today. Like, what happened during that transitional period that made you want to do what you do now?
Well, I had conflict growing up because I had anger too, and so I had no peace within. And I heard growing up that if you're a son of God, you should have peace, right? Christ came that we may have peace. And I always wanted that. I just believed it when I heard it as a kid, but I had no peace. So growing up, I was asked questions of myself and others. And finally, I asked God to let me see myself. Why don't I have peace? And he allowed me to see, long story short, he allowed me to see that I resented my mother for turning me away from my father, for trying to at least. And when I saw that, he allowed me to see it. It brought a sense of a sadness, not like human sadness, but I was sad that I had resented her because that held me back in life. And I went and forgave her, and when I forgave her, God forgave me. And I had a talk with my father. He told me what had happened, and I didn't really resent him. I yearned for him, but I didn't resent him. But when God woke me up, he just caused me to do what I do now. I never planned to do anything that I have been doing for the last 3 to 5 years. He is causing that to happen, and I really honestly have nothing to do with it.
That's amazing.
Amazing. And if you stay with the prayer and watch those thoughts, He gonna cause your life to happen too, because He already has it laid out for you, and whatever His plan is for you or whatever it's meant to be, it's gonna happen, and you won't be able to prevent it from happening. You will have nothing to do with it. You will have no other choice but to walk, to just live and let life happen. The same thing will happen for you.
Thank you. I totally believe that. I totally believe it.
And so are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Now, I do pray every morning, every night, but I've never watched the video. So maybe it's the same concept. I don't know, but I got to look at it.
Yeah, do your little hooping and hollering, and when you're done, be still and know God. Do the silent prayer morning and night, and during the day, practice keeping your mind where your body is, because God is in the present, and He wants you to live in the present so that He can guide you. Instead of thinking about the past or the future, He wants you to live in the present. So go to www.silentprayer.video, and He'll guide you. It's going to be amazing for you, John.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. I got the biggest smile on my face because now I'm going to leave you with this. They say to never meet your heroes because they're people just like you.
Right.
And I never idolize. I don't have a favorite celebrity. I don't really like sports. I mean, I like skateboarding, but it's maybe a sport. But I don't idolize you, but I have such a great respect for you.
Thank you.
Do.
Right on.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I'm just Jesse. I have to pray. I have to watch. I have to work on me, just as I'm encouraging you to do for you. Amazing.
Amazing. Thank you, Jesse. Hey, have a great Friday, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
I will. Thank you, John. I wish the same for you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right,
have
bye
a
now.
great one.
Okay. Amazing. 888-775-3773. I want to, before I go back to the phone, there is one line open right now. I want to, Kamala Harris, that woman, the empty shell, so-called vice president, I forget that Kamala is the vice president. Really, I don't even think about it until I'm reminded of it. And both senator reception was messed up. Okay, thank you, Sharon. Fox is reporting that, and speaking of Kamala Harris taking care of important things, right? Fox is reporting that Kamala Harris teased a new transportation policy Tuesday that would address the inequality of restroom on domestic flights so that they are more accessible to people with disabilities. Watch this. Sean's going to read this from Twitter.
The majority of domestic flights do not have accessible restrooms. This is absolutely unacceptable. Our administration will soon announce a solution to help end this iniquity.
What a dumb female, right? She ain't got nothing there, but there are enough bathrooms on the airplane, all right? She ain't got nothing there to do, so they told her, go and clean up the toilets. What the? And she called herself a vice president. And did you hear that there was some cocaine found in the White House? What the? NBC has reported that the mystery of who brought the cocaine into the White House remains unsolved. The Secret Service investigation has concluded with no evidence identifying the person responsible. What type of Secret Service do we have if they don't know who brought the cocaine in the White House? Do you believe that they don't know? If you do believe that, I got some tea in China that you can have for free. I got to take a quick break. 888-7753-773. Back in a moment. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true. It's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. Okay, folks, amazing. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. So it's amazing. Listen, you got to take control of your own life. You got to work on your life. You're responsible for you. No one else is. No one. And there's nothing on the outside that can help you. No physical person, no money, places, or things can help you at all. It's just to be used on the physical world in a physical aspect, and that's about it. But what you're really looking for is on the inside of you. You got to get to know yourself. You got to work on you, forgive, watch those thoughts, work on you. Wish everybody else well, even your enemies. But work on you. You are responsible for you. So if you should lose your soul or stay in the hell where you've already lost it, it's up to you. You want to live in your misery? It's up to you. You want to overcome the misery? It's up to you. Really. It's up to you. Sandra, your reception was bad, I'm told, the one that wanted to know about the fire and brimstone. And I know you've been trying for a long time to get through. Call back. All right? And she was asking me, why do men believe that women should not be preachers? And I want to respond to that with Sandra. A couple announcements. The Hake report is coming up at the top of this hour. The Hake report.com from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then at 12 noon, a brand new episode of the Fallen State.tv. I had a very interesting conversation with Dory Love. Dory Love. And he is a street preacher, evangelist, and founder of the Ministry of the Word. Watch this teaser.
Next time on The Fallen State.
What is your purpose of street preaching?
To save souls. Every single time when you go against me, you're going to lose, because I stand on the Bible, and the Bible is the truth.
How do you know you have returned to God?
Because I don't have any anger, and I forgive everybody.
Blacks used to think for themselves.
God makes you a free thinker. You think outside the box.
Were you liberal at any point?
Yeah, when I was on welfare. Yeah, Clinton, give me that check.
You have children?
4 girls.
Beta. Amazing. At 4 p.m. Pacific time today. No, not at 4, at noon, at 12 p.m. Pacific time today. And then at 4, that's the fallerstate.tv, and you can support the Fallen State by becoming a member there on the YouTube channel. And then at 4 p.m. today, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby. At 4 p.m., come along for the ride. It's going to be amazing. at 4 p.m. Pacific time, all right? And then Sunday church. On Sunday, I will be there this Sunday. If the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. But the following Sunday, the 23rd, I won't be there. I have to be out of town. And JLP Friday will be standing in for me on the Sunday, July 23rd. That should be interesting. You don't want to miss that either. All right? So, a lot going on. Super chat. Super.
Super chat.
Yes, sir. All right, over on D-Live. From Powers That Bear with a diamond. Just a ninja in the cloud.
Nice.
Smoke thing.
Are you black? I can't see up there.
I can see you.
These things are tricky.
What?
These super chats sometimes are tricky.
It's like chewing gum while riding a bike.
Almost like hieroglyphics.
Did you go to a black school?
I mean, there's nothing to read. It's just it's me explaining like this ninja hiding behind this cloud.
Oh, okay. What the? Thank you. I appreciate it.
It was a diamond that exploded.
Right on.
After the treasure chest, Powers That Bear gave you a diamond.
Nice. Thank you.
Based Nation on Rumble gave a Rumble rant saying, if you have anger, you gon' drink the Kool-Aid.
Yep. All angry people are brainwashed people. You're already brainwashed. Your mind is not clear. I promise you that. If you have anger, you have hatred, and your mind is dark. Amazing. Thank you.
Over on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk.
Buy me a coffee.
Star Sion bought a coffee saying, Jesse, purple heart emoji. I don't know what I'll do if I don't see you every morning. Rest really well this weekend. Thank you for helping us all, for helping people every day. Your voice has deep bass in it. Musical notes emoji. Don't patronize. More musical notes emojis. Thank you.
Thank you, Sion. I really appreciate it. I will get my rest. And don't patronize. Because I can't make you love me if you don't. You can't make your heart feel something it won't. Amazing. Thank you, Sion. I really appreciate it.
I thought
have a good weekend.
I thought it was don't tell me lies, tell me lies.
What?
Patronize.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. Oh no, don't patronize. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. Amazing. Thank you, Sion.
Rest in peace to that Fleetwood Mac lady, Christine McVie.
She did.
She died.
She did.
At 79. More coffees. Eric Haberman bought 3 coffees, saying, thanks, Jesse. Take down the Trinity. I'll take a Jehovah's Witness Thumper Wednesday, too, and defend them.
Nice. Thank you.
Carver bought a coffee. Carver says, the juice told Harpo to beat me. Blaming is beta.
You told Harpo to beat me. Anyone that blames as an adult and you're blaming anyone for what happened, you weak. You're pathetic. Really, you need Jesus. If ever you needed Jesus, you need him then.
And I'm not sure if he was talking about O.J. Simpson or the Zionists. But irregardless.
You told Harpo to beat me. Thank you.
Over on Buy Me a Coffee, Mav Angel bought 5 coffees. Happy White History Month, Jesse. Thank you for helping so many people. You're amazing. And that was a new one, different from the other one that he sent.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate the coffee.
Flower Power bought a coffee. You're gonna be buzzing on caffeine. Can you do it? Maybe some of it's decaf. Can you do a segment on Jehovah Wits for Bible Thumper Wednesday? My in-laws are JW, Jehovah's Witness, and I didn't know how crazy they are. We cut his family off for being too involved, plus drama, gossiping, push religion. My mother-in-law, I guess, wanted to watch me breastfeed and give birth. She turned his own family against me. Should I call and forgive or stay away? I forgive them in my brain emoji, heart emoji, in my mind and heart.
Well, you definitely need to face your mother and father and forgive them, maybe by FaceTime or whatever, and then be done with them.
But not necessarily mother-in-law, right?
No, her mother.
Yeah, her own mother.
And tell your mother-in-law to stay away. Give her the finger. She's a Cherokee.
Yikes.
Thank you.
Over on...
And Bible Thumping Thursday is not Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's Thursday. But thank you. We'll look into that.
Prince Vibes on Streamlabs, JCLeePeterson.live. I'm overcoming and I see the anger and annoyance and it makes my hubs feel, husband. How do I navigate that? How do I keep the peace without stopping the work on myself? Thank God I got through the first time I called you. God was like, oh, she need me. What the? Love from Texas.
What's the question?
She's overcoming and she sees the anger and annoyance that it makes her husband feel. Because she's overcoming her stuff.
Oh, I see.
And so it's annoying her husband.
Well, just let him have his own hell, and you just continue to work on yourself, and don't judge him. He's not ready. Based on this, he's not ready, but don't judge him. Believe me, it's going to be amazing. You're going to overcome him psychologically, spiritually, right? But you'll be fine. Amazing. Stay with it. Just don't resent him when he's feeling that way, whatever it is.
Gilco on rumble.com/JLP talk /JC Peterson, my bag. Can you speak to the whole idea of discipling compared to fellowshipping? Is this an ego thing, discipling? Humans replace God and look to create their purpose in their life. Is the idea of discipling one?
I don't know what that is.
Discipling.
Like dipping water from the well?
No, discipling is when you make disciples of different people.
How you going to make somebody? What does that mean?
Like it's kind of like mentoring, I guess. Mentorship, disciples.
Call me about that. Thank you, Eric, but call me about that. I have no idea what that is.
I think in the Christian church, I know in the Christian church they sometimes do discipling.
Would they dip people in the water?
No, that's baptizing. The heck? Get with the program. Get with the jargon.
What?
Never mind.
What?
Yeah, it's best to call, man.
Yeah, call me because I don't know what that is.
And thank you, guys. That is all for now.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. What I want to do real fast, and then I get back to the phone, I mentioned how they can't find the cocaine in the White House. You believe that? What? Well, the White House has brainwashing proof. The White House wants you, they can't find the cocaine, right? But the White House wants you to know that they have been very clear. Watch this from the White House.
I want to be very clear here. The president has been very, very clear. Very, very clear.
Because we've been very clear.
And we have been clear, not just publicly, but privately. The president has been very clear. He's been crystal clear. We have been very clear here from this administration. The president has been very clear. The president has been very clear. He has been very clear.
Just to be very clear.
Being very clear on that, as I said, we've been very clear. Consistently. I want to be very clear. He has been very clear. And so we've been very clear. We've been very clear. Right? We've been very clear. We've been very clear on our approach. Look, I was very clear. We have been very clear on not commenting.
And we continue to be very, very clear.
The president has been very, very clear. Our economists have been very clear. Look, I want to be very clear here.
Shanga, Kawawa.
So I'll leave it on that. I'll leave it to that.
Is that clear? We can't find the cocaine. Is that very clear? And Shangang, did he go to school with Joel and Hassan? What the? What a mess! But we've been very clear. Let me be very clear. Is that clear? We can't find the cocaine. And Shane, I'm sorry, Shane, you know, I went to school with Joel, he black. And her son, he black. Let me go to Sandra real fast here. Sandra, thanks for calling back. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so you had a brimstone. You had a brimstone preacher, a female, right?
Well, I don't know. Maybe that was the wrong terminology, but she really got everyone fired up about the Bible.
Right. And your question is what?
Well, she was a female minister. So what I'm kind of wondering is why do so many male ministers kind of speak against that?
Well, first, I'm sorry that you went through the torture of having a female preacher. I'm sorry that happened to you. That must have been pretty traumatic for you. And secondly, women are not called by God to preach because it's not in their nature to lead. It's in the nature of the woman to follow God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, woman over children, right? And so it's not in her nature to lead. And I know that these women who are on an ego trip, they want to be equal to a man in their mind only. They think they get up there and read the Bible, but the devil can read the devil can be a fire and brimstone Bible reader, and he can teach that to you as well.
So am I not a legitimate Christian?
What does that mean, legitimate Christian?
Well, since I got she taught that the man is the head of the household. She did, and I'm just wondering why.
Because
I don't understand that, but
you wonder why what?
Am I a legitimate Christian?
What's a legitimate Christian?
Someone who is, I guess, apparently ministered by a man.
I'm sorry?
Well, does that make me an illegitimate Christian because when I was younger, I followed a female minister? Or, I mean, she did teach me how to overcome my emotions. That's why I'm not quick to temper. I don't have a quick temper. I don't feel greed or jealousy. I mean, I'm just trying to understand, what she didn't do that I needed from a ministry from a man.
Well, all you need to know is that I don't know what a legitimate Christian. You didn't tell me that. What is a legitimate Christian?
What I'm asking you is, since I grew up with a female minister, is all her teachings not valid?
Well, anybody can read the Bible and throw it back up at you, right? Put it out there. But that ain't going to do nothing for you. It doesn't help you. It's just intellectual knowledge until you overcome it. If that's what you mean. Why did your father let you be taught by a female preacher?
I don't know. My father was a great Christian. He was.
But why did he sit under her too?
He did go. Excuse me. He did have after her church dissolved, she passed away. Him and my mother did attend a church ministered by a male, which I love attending.
And so
their church at that time.
Did your father sit
Church of Christ.
Did your father sit under that woman too and let her minister to him?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sorry. Have you forgiven your mother and father?
Yes.
You told them?
I always told them after any type of conflict, I forgave them.
Did you tell your mother and father you forgive them for what they've done to you?
Well, I didn't know they were doing anything bad to me when we were going to her church.
But did you forgive your mother? Go to your mother and father and forgive them for anything they did wrong, mistakes they made, or when they?
Of course.
You told them that you told your mother you forgive her.
I've always forgave my parents for whatever.
Did you tell your mother you forgive
hold
her?
grudges being a Christian.
Did you
Correct.
Did you tell your mother you forgive her?
Of course.
And what did she say?
I don't know, but wait. Are you asking me if I forgave them for bringing me to a church ministered by a woman?
No, I'm asking. Did you go to your mother and forgive her, period, for what she did to you?
Well, I'm not sure what she did to me I would have to forgive her, but any type of conflict we've ever had, we've forgiven each other.
Did you go to your mother and forgive her for the mistake she made with you?
Sure.
You told her that?
Like I hope my kids have forgiven me for whatever mistakes I've made with them. Isn't that what the Father wants?
Did you go to your mother and forgive?
Isn't that the basis of Christianity, forgiveness?
Did you go to your mother and forgive her?
Yes.
You told her?
Well, yes.
And what did she say when you say, I'm sorry for resenting you?
I never resented my mother except through my teenage years. I mean, she forgave me. I forgave her.
What did your mother say when you went to her and told her, I'm sorry for resenting you?
She said, I forgive you. And
she
was sorry for whatever she did at that time, too. I mean, forgiveness, I forgive right off the bat.
Sandra, you went to your mother and told her you were sorry for resenting her, right? For what she did.
Sure.
And what did she say?
Everybody at one point in their life?
What did she say when you told her, I'm sorry for resenting you?
She forgave me.
What? She ain't supposed to forgive you. She the one did wrong. She's supposed to apologize.
But when you're going through your teenage years and you're rebellious, you do things that your parents don't like. And when they call you down on it, that's when the resentment starts.
No, no. The reason you're rebelling because you become like your mother. You're acting like your mother, and your mother don't like seeing herself in you.
I don't know. My mother's a good person.
What's good about her?
She's been faithful to God. She was faithful to my father.
And so what's good about her?
What's good about her?
Yeah.
Well, she's really always been there when I needed to talk. She's always done, whatever I needed. She was there.
So what's good about her?
What's good about her?
Yeah.
I guess that she's my mom.
What's good about her?
I don't know what you want me to say other than I love my mom.
You said that she was good, and so far you haven't told me anything that make her good.
Well, she's good to other people.
No.
She's good to her
because I'm trying, no human being is good. No such thing as a good. Only God is good.
Well, she is a Christian.
Only God is good. That doesn't make your mama good. You should forgive her, Sandra. Is she still living?
I don't understand about the forgiveness part because I'm not angry with my mom.
I'm sorry?
I mean, my question is, please tell me why I shouldn't have been ministered to by a woman.
Because it wasn't from God. It was straight out of hell.
My goodness.
You don't have any goodness. Forgive your mother and forgive your father and mother still living, Sandra?
My mother is.
Go forgive your mother and you shall know goodness and you will have an amazing life.
I don't have any aggressions against my mother.
But you said when you were a teenager,
I don't understand.
You said when you were a teenager you rebelled.
Sure, and I apologize to her for that.
No, you should forgive her for making you rebel. You became like her. You were rebelling because you had the anger against her.
Oh, no, that's not right. I was like that because of outside influence.
No.
My mother. No, that's wrong.
Sarah, listen, I'm so out of time. Will you call me back on Monday?
Sure.
Okay, I'm out of time
But
right now.
I don't understand.
Right,
You're
I
not.
won't-
Okay, you
I
tell me
won't-
that's directly from hell, but I'm a believer. I mean, I don't understand how I could be a believer.
Well, we'll talk
and
some
that
more.
be directly from hell.
We'll talk some more on Monday, okay? I'm so out of time. Hake is coming up now, thehakereport.com. Become your own man. Become your own woman. Be an individual. And you shall be free, all right? Do the silent prayer, www.silentprayer.video, and watch those thoughts. Tyler from Michigan, Ken from New York, Rick from Virginia. I'm out of time. I'll see you at church on Sunday. Hake coming up. And then 4 o'clock, the Anchor Baby. Bye.
Nice.
Check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. Stand up, we got fighting to do. We gotta show him who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understand in the lose. You better go talk to your mama. Better stop with the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up, man up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if you don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa.
Know that so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause you must know that so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesse Lee Peterson, for an excellent Jesse Lee Peterson show. Thank you, Hassan.